And there we go. And we're recording. What's up, bro? I guess we've already said what's up, but what's up, guys? How's everyone out there doing? Coming back at you with episode 2 of Bros and Books, talking about the remainder of Red Rising.
Yes, sir. We are. We got Chris and Matt back at it
Yeah,
again.
damn right. Damn right. Second of many. Yeah, to be 100% honest, I've been slacking and was supposed to review the intention was to go ahead and review these the next two parts. Sure haven't. So
So I'll do a little bit of the heavy
Matt's on it.
lifting this
Yeah,
session.
yeah.
I did reread parts 4 and 5. It was a blast, and I took a few quotes that stuck out to me. Chris is not aware of them, so we're gonna talk about what we think about them and maybe what was happening in the story too.
Yeah. Lay it on me, man. Take us away.
All right, let's get it. So, um, first, I just want to this is right after the passage. Part 3, gold starts right after the passage, and um, Darrow kills Julian, and they're still in the dark room, whatever room they're in, and so this was Darrow and his thoughts. He says, "There's nowhere to wipe the blood, only stone and two naked bodies. This is not who I am, who I want to be. I want to be a father, a husband, a dancer. Let me dig in the earth. Let me sing the songs of my people and leap and spin and run along the walls. I would never sing the forbidden song. I would work. I would bow. Let me wash dirt from my hands instead of blood. I want only to live with my family. We were happy enough. Freedom cost too much, but Io disagreed. Damn her." So that's his first
Powerful.
thoughts after he's put in the situation where they're like 17 or whatever, and the first thing they got to do is fight to the death.
It's wild, man. It's powerful. Yeah, I forgot that they were naked doing this. I
Yeah,
forgot that
yeah.
they stripped them and
Hmm.
it's yeah, literally just a cold, dark stone room. And it's like one of you guys is leaving, only one of you can leave. Man, it's got to be like a hell of a realization in that moment, right? Or powerful, right? Because up at this is his first
It's his first kill.
yeah, first kill. Um, and I'm assuming, right, first kind of thought of even doing it, right? I'm sure, hey, you joined the Sons of Ares, and it's like, okay, like there's the thought crosses your mind, like the brutality of killing a grown man or yeah, boy, teenager, whatever, with your bare hands. Wild.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I think it's a really good way to see where his head's at the start of the series, because he's saying like, yeah, like I would have been happy bowing. I would have worked. Like he was fine accepting being a cog in the machine, so to speak. Um, but yeah, obviously things didn't happen that way. So I really like that quote. Um, and it shows like the starting point of where Darrow's mindset is.
Yeah, and also like a little bit of a shift, right? Because I'd imagine, okay, you're red, you transform into this gold, into this uber powerful, beautiful being and like you're exposed to this new world, thinking you're going to go to this university, right? And then all of a sudden there is a level, there's a line where the price to pay for this is too much and it's not worth it,
Hmm.
right? So that's cool to see. I'm assuming it's almost like a step back, right? Where I would assume where he realizes like this is great and all, but it's not, this isn't what I signed up.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and before this, he's probably like, okay, I'm gonna join the Sons of Ares. Yeah, people are gonna die, but there's this and this, two very
Yeah.
different things. Two
Yeah.
very different things.
Absolutely.
So
For sure.
yeah, it's
Talking about it is easy. And, when it until you actually need to make it happen and do it. and do it yourself, right? I think, observing it is probably hard. Doing it yourself, it's a different level.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, all this stuff happens. They do whatever. It gets into the next thing that I thought was funny. This I don't have any quote or anything, but talking about the part where Darrow's getting pressured to unite House Mars,
Okay.
and because Tactus, he's going full barbarian caveman mode, in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
So Rock is trying to tell Darrow, hey, we need to do something about this. And Darrow's like, okay, I'll just go talk to him. Like, I'll go into House Mars. I'll talk to Vixis, which is Tactus's right hand dude, who's also a complete barbarian. And it's just the worst. Like, I read that and I'm like, dude, how dumb can you be? Darrow, how dumb can you be? Like,
The simple solution, man.
words are
Sometimes
not
it's
gonna cover this at this point in time. So Darrow goes in, he nearly gets jumped. He has to blitz Vixis and then just sprint out of there before he actually gets jumped. Tactus captures Quinn, and then Cassius is like, okay, I'm just gonna go in there one man army style. And he does get jumped. He does get jumped. So like I just thought it was funny. Darrow nearly gets jumped. Cassius back like literally right almost immediately after he does get jumped. He gets pissed on. So I was just like, wow, these two. But
Man, I agree. I'm about it. It's like sometimes you got, hey, what's the easiest approach, right? Maybe just talking to them. Maybe it works, You got to at least like give it a shot. Um, but yeah, it's like then you realize the ability of some people to be diplomatic, and obviously Tactus not one of those guys, right? Doesn't give a fuck about that.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was funny. Eventually they unite House Mars and
Mhm.
the whole and this is where the book gets so good. It like the whole battlefield, like parts 3 and 4, this is where Brown like finds his stride because he's like the action sequences are on point and the character dialogue is on point too. I think well I'll get into what I was about to say a bit later. But so the House Mars is united and they're getting dubs, back to back dubs. And the next quote that I have is from Cassius. After they get a dub, it's Cassius, and he's talking to Rock, and he's talking to Darrow, and he says, "I may have lost a brother here. That pain won't fade, but I feel like I've gained two more, and I mean that, lads. I gory well mean that. We'll have to do ourselves proud here. Beat some more houses, win the whole damn thing. But my father will always need officers for the ships in the Armada. If you guys are interested, that is, the House Bologna always needs praetors to make us stronger. So Cassius is like, I lost a brother, but you two, Rock, Darrow, you are my brothers. And like, he's sincere about it. The whole time, Darrow was the one who actually killed Julian. And so it was just like, I saw that quote, and I thought it was worth mentioning, given
Yeah, man.
what ends up happening.
Sure. Nothing like some big trials to unite people, right? And I feel like particularly like unite men, right? It's like you go through some shit with your friends, and there's something about that, right? There's something about like on a certain level, right? It's like you got your friends that you've grown up with, right? So like as far as trials can happen in like 20, in the year 2000s, and the times that we live in, um, going through like these weird awkward stages with those friends, like that ties you together in a certain way, right? So it's just like take that and extrapolate it, right? So like yeah, or you know, bands, friends that go to like that are in the armed forces, right? That
Hmm.
are in war together, right?
Oh
The
yeah,
bonds that that creates in, guys and any their friends. Yeah, it's
yeah,
wild.
brothers in arms.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that ends up not turning out too well, huh? With
No, it does not. It does not
yeah.
end up turning out well. Um,
Hmm.
so speaking of which, that leads into the next quote. To provide some bit of context, the their team Darrow is just kicking butt at this point in time, and they send Cassius over to go raid some other castle or something.
Hmm.
And but actually before that, Cassius gets a gift from an emissary, Lilith from the Jackal. She gives him a gift. It's a small pouch. Darrow orders Severo to steal the pouch because that's another thing that I think is like a common theme is Darrow's leadership style.
Okay.
His
How
leadership
so?
style is very information hoarding, like not transparent. Like he doesn't tell his underlings everything about the
Really?
plan.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's consistent throughout all the books.
Okay.
Um so he's kind of anyway, he's got that kind of weird style to it.
Hmm.
So he orders Severo to
But
steal
I
the
mean,
pouch. Yeah,
in this situation, he doesn't know what the pouch is, right?
he doesn't. No.
Yeah, okay. Got it. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like, okay, do you trust Cassius to stay loyal no matter what is in the pouch?
Hmm.
Or do you take the slightly riskier, like high risk, high reward approach where you can steal it and eliminate that risk factor, but there's the risk of getting caught in that operation. So,
Sure. Sure.
and that's what ends up happening. Cassius catches Severo trying to steal it, and then that triggers him to actually open it up, see what it is. It's a holocam of Darrow killing Julian. Cassius is not happy that his twin brother got killed. So he him and Darrow they go out to the battle and they have their duel, and then Cassius impales Darrow through the sternum, right through the chest,
Yeah.
and Darrow almost dies. Did you think it? What did you think about that whole Cassius sequence?
Dude, reading it, it's like, okay, yo, he had no choice in the matter, right? It's like this guy had no choice, he has been loyal to you, or like you guys have like been successful together. It's like get over it, right? Like that was like the thing that I wanted to, it's like, hey, this isn't his fault. Yeah, he had to do it. He killed your brother, but
Mm,
everybody that is in the story up to this point had to kill somebody.
yeah.
And it was just by stroke of luck. And I mean, not any sort of stroke of luck, right? We know it was kind of done purposeful. Um,
Mm,
but yeah, that was my thought. Like it just like over and over again. Every time like Cassius choose to, go against Darrow, I'm like waiting, like, yo, come on. There has to be some point where, he realizes that he needs Darrow more. He needs an ally more than he needs an enemy, right? That was my thought.
yeah.
What did you think about that as you were kind of
Yeah.
reading
I mean,
through?
I can see in the moment him reacting that way.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
I
You're
kind of
you're
would.
pissed in the moment.
That's the thing is like if someone takes you out, I don't know how safe they're gonna be.
If someone takes
So
you out, what do you mean?
if someone takes you out, I don't
What
know.
do you mean?
If someone like kills you, I'm gonna I'm gonna be. I don't know. I don't know.
if someone, but I mean, are you talking about Darrow killing Cassius or Cassius killing Darrow?
No, you, my alive brother.
Oh, me. Oh, if
Yeah,
someone kills me. Oh, but yeah,
yeah,
in the situation, right? Like, okay, where someone's forced to kill me. So you're one of your best friends is forced to kill me, right?
yeah.
And and it's like you're in this thing where, hey, like it's life or death, right? And like you need as many people. You still just take them out. Little my man over
Probably.
here.
Well, we'll see.
My
Maybe,
man.
maybe because I think the class is in like last 9 months.
Yeah.
The whole like institute. Um,
Hmm.
so
Duration.
maybe after the 9 months, I'd be a little bit cooler, more understanding
Yeah.
of the circumstances. But
Man,
I mean, I honestly I relate to like Cassie's reaction. Like I don't
for
know.
sure. I think in the moment, right? The it's like as soon as you found out, you're pissed, right? But if you take a step back and you like look at the entire situation, like man, if I we're trying to win this thing, right? And like not only are we trying, has anyone died up to this point? Yeah, people have died. I feel like
Yeah.
when,
Oh, for
yeah,
sure.
right?
There's like
Yeah.
a girl, like series girl gets trampled. By the way, that was dude. Do you remember the trampling of the girl?
Mm-mm.
Okay, this was this was wild. So Tactus gets a horse from a house series. He on the horse. He lassos a girl. It wraps around her neck, and then he just yoinks her off the castle, gallops, and she's just getting dragged away. Then what he does is that night he has one of his team, like one of House Mars, act like they're getting violated, like screaming in
Huh?
the night. So
Yeah.
they think that they put two and two together, figure out what what Tactus is doing. Tactus buried the original girl under the ground, right outside the walls of House Ceres. So the next
What?
morning, House
Siri?
Ceres, Ceres,
Aries.
Ceres, Ceres.
Oh, okay. All right. Got it. My bad. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, all good. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, I mean that was like just crazy brutal.
Yeah.
So you understand the trickery that happened. He faked I mean her
Okay.
getting raped and then it
So
buries her under the ground so that way she gets trampled by the horses the next morning.
oh, okay. I remember that. I do
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah,
Yeah, she's still alive, but she's like chained to
yeah,
something, right?
yeah. And then no, she's buried under the dirt or she's like in the
Hmm.
grass, hidden in the grass or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. So there's a lot of crazy brutal things that happen.
Happening up to this point.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, right? It's like, man, like this is serious. I think at this point, the gravity of this school or the test that they're in hits you. And it's like, man, I need to not be pissed at something that this person did, was and did forcefully, right? Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just like the smarter thing to do
Yeah,
versus
definitely
being pissed
rational.
and trying to kill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
rational
yeah.
versus emotional.
Yeah, 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 100%. Yeah.
Well, on a brighter note,
Yeah.
I then we get in. So Daryl gets skewered.
Mm.
He's dying. And I
Yeah,
really
and
like,
Cassius leaves him. Why does Cassius just leave him and not kill him?
dude, because he's there's
He's that
there's no
okay.
reason
I don't need to
why
do
like
anything. All
plot
right.
armor happened.
All right. Okay.
Main character plot armor happens.
Huh. Plot
So
armor.
that's
I like that.
um. But okay. What other than the action sequences, which is what I really like in this series so far, the character development is on
Mm.
fire. Like on
Mm-hmm.
point, 9 out of 10 across the board. Like the relationship, like these people feel like real people. I think that's the best way to describe it. And I especially like Mustang and Darrow's relationship. So I've got a bit of quotes because she ends up saving him.
Damn army.
Uh, yeah. And also a
Hmm.
detail you might have forgotten is Mustang gets she has to escape. She loses for whatever reason and she's got to escape
Hmm.
and they're hunting her down. She ends up hiding in mud. She like buries herself in mud, camouflages herself in mud, and it's Darrow and Vixis, again, the right hand man, the barbarian, basically, barbarian number two. We've got barbarian number one, we've got barbarian number two. He's following Darrow because he wants to do whatever evil things when they find Mustang. As Darrow's looking for Mustang 2, her eyes, like, it's just a coincidence that she happens to look to see who is approaching, like if she's in danger or not.
Uh-huh.
And she
Yeah.
meets eyes with Darrow. But because Vixis is right around the corner, he just keeps walking as if he didn't see her. That's why when Mustang eventually stumbles upon Darrow bleeding out, dying, she decides to save him.
Ah, you're right. So Darrow and Vixis was where were they going or what were they doing?
They
Like
just like
why?
they just won a battle. I think they tricked her. It was like a team up between House Diana and House Mars tag teaming to overwhelm Mustang's army. And so Mustang ends up having to flee.
Gotcha. Okay, so Darrow obviously sees her and doesn't react, spares her life, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Doesn't capture her. And then later on, when she, when after Cassius skewers Darrow and she sees him, that's why she helps him out, decides to help him out. Ah, yeah, definitely forgot about that.
Yeah. So the one of the first quotes when Darrow wakes up and they're in their cave. Um, this is Mustang. She says, "I've hidden from everyone but you. Hell, it keeps me alive and ticking." And then Darrow's like, "Okay, what's the plan?" And then Mustang laughs to herself, "To be alive and ticking." And then and then like they just talk about whatever. But
Yeah,
I just thought that was like a really it made me laugh honestly.
sure.
Inside, I thought it was really
Yeah,
funny.
that is hilarious. And like I feel like sometimes it's all you can do, man. It's like shit's hitting the fan. Like just one day at a time. One, just be alive, stay alive, and keep ticking.
Yep, yep,
Yeah, to be alive and ticking. Yeah, that is pretty funny. I do like that one.
yeah, yeah. And like Mustang's just such a tomboy. I honestly think Mustang is one of the best female written characters that I've come across in
Okay,
fiction. Like
all
for
right.
example, Hunger Games. We've got Katniss Everdeen. She's cool, but she's like too badass. Like I don't know. I she's like I'm a big fan of Katniss,
Hmm.
but like if I would rank, I mean, I would just definitely say that Mustang is a just more fleshed out character. Like she's funny, she's like a tomboy, she's smart. It's I'm just a big Mustang fan.
Yeah, yeah. I never looked at her as a tomboy. And
Okay.
that's funny you describe her as a tomboy because I never pictured her that way. Yeah.
It's because she's
Like,
always, and that's the thing is she's always described as like pretty and like all this other stuff. But when you look into like
sure,
the things that she says, it I think it's pretty apparent. But she's like a
tomboyish.
hybrid. She's like a hybrid. She's like
Yeah,
half like tomboy, half like pretty girl.
yeah. Interesting, man.
But like,
Yeah.
for
I'm trying to
example,
th yeah.
one quote is they're like buried in the snow and they gotta wait. They get at night they gotta bury themselves in the snow and then
Hmm.
like stake out till the morning. And they wake up and she's like her and Darrow and her are talking
This is
and
before they're gonna attack some they like hide and like everyone, there's like a line of them, right? Of pairs. Yeah,
Yeah,
students in
it's like a
pairs.
line of them because
Yeah.
um they need to raid the, I think it's House Sirius again. Yeah,
Okay.
it is House Sirius.
Okay.
Because they've just been in their castle walls like chilling. Like they've just been chilling because they have a like nice ass castle and they have food, like really good food. They're making
Hmm.
bread. They don't have the protein, but I mean like they were just mad chilling. So yeah, this was before they take like a big rampart. They're like hidden in the snow with like a like long ass rampart,
Yeah.
and then they angle it up against the wall. Darrow runs up to the top. Mustang is following, and then he launches her up the remaining distance that needs to be cleared.
Yeah.
And then yeah, they attack. They open the gate and then get inside the
Yeah. She
walls.
gets
Once you're
inside and opens the gate. Is it her that does it?
Yeah, it's her and
Someone.
Darrow.
Yeah.
It's
Okay. Will do.
yeah, her, Darrow,
Gotcha.
Quinn. Um
All right.
yeah.
Got you. All right. But you were saying, but so they're sitting in the snow, and
And she's like, "Hurry up, like my balls are freezing. Let's get this shit going." So she'll say a lot of things like that.
yeah.
So she's like I mean, I think that's a pretty tomboy thing to say.
I feel like it's just
All
just
right.
a funny thing to say, you know?
Yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah. 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 I'm trying.
What do
It's
you
like
think?
tomboy
What
tendencies.
would your like describe?
Yeah. So okay, very intelligent, like harsh almost, like a yeah, just like a harsh um woman. And well, I guess harsh girl. I'm trying to think of what else. Obviously, when she saves Darrow and they're in the snow, right? You get a sense of like the softer side of her, and like, but I feel like she's always felt like needs to be this like kind of cunning, discerning like woman, right? To be able to, and I mean she's the what House Balana, right?
No, she's Augustus.
Augusta, that's right. Yeah.
Augustus, yeah.
Um. Yeah, that's kind of like the impression that I got from her. But she's like a you're right. Like she is very well balanced. Like you see the softer side, right? She jokes around and kids, um, and then like later on in the books, in the like later books, you you get the sense of like humanity, I feel like, from her, right? Like here she saves Darrow, right? And they start, once they team up and he heals up, they're like taking over, right? And yeah,
Uh,
like you said, collecting those dubs.
yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah, but they're leading well. Um, but it's a lot of like positive stuff. And then like later on you kind of see the her more vulnerable side. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So the next quote that stuck out to me, not just kind of jumps us to the end of the book. I don't know if you want to, if there's anything that stuck out to you before like the pretty much very end.
No, man. Nothing. Yeah, I mean, go to the quote, and then we can kind of
Okay, yeah, for
recap
sure,
and
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
So this is when Darrow finally learns like his leadership style, or not leadership style, but he learns because he has the problem where when you're a leader, you need to keep your team in order. You can't have insubordination, all that kind of stuff. But you can't. I mean, it's just there's a lot that goes into it. It's hard to get it right. This is after Tactus rape or attempts to rape one of their slaves that they get,
Mm, mm-hmm.
and he gets stopped. It doesn't happen, but there's got to be some sort of punishment. So that's when Darrow's like, okay, last time this happened, and I might be messing up these names with Tactus, because last time it was, anyways, okay. Barbarian, with the barbarian meta develops. actual barbarian number one, which was Tactus, he ends up dying by Cassius. On the Darrow sentences the execution, but Cassius is the one to kill him, and no one's happy about it. Everyone's just kind of like mad.
Okay. Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, like this wasn't the move. So he's like, okay, I'm in this situation again with Barbarian number three. So this is when he decides, after he whips Tactus or whoever Barbarian 3 is, he gets whipped by Pax, one of the
Hmm.
other guys. So he's like, okay,
Yeah,
anyone,
and doesn't like someone else starts, right? Someone starts. Does Roke start the whipping, and then he's
he
being
him,
soft.
yeah,
Yeah, and then he hands it to Pax.
you're exactly right. It's Barbarian number 3. So like Darrow whips him,
Hmm.
and then he's like, here, you whip me 25 times. And
Okay.
then he does it like 5 times, but his heart's not in it. He is being soft, like you're saying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then Darrow takes it from Barbarian 3, hands it to
It's
Pax,
Pax. Okay.
and then Pax, who's like the meathead, the strongest physically, um, does the like remaining 20 whips. And then after that, this is the quote from Darrow. He says, "You do not follow me because I am the strongest, Paxes. You do not follow me because I am the brightest, Mustang is. You follow me because you do not know where you are going. I do."
Hmm.
And for me, I'm a big fan of leadership. I've always put myself in leadership situations, and it's just like that just hit home. I was like, Darrow, let's get posters. Let's print them.
Uh-huh.
Let's send them out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just thought that was like a super good quote when it comes to talking about leadership.
Yeah. So what's funny, you and I always disagree.
Mm.
It's like as a
This is
general
true.
rule, I
As a
feel like
general, okay, wait. Let's be frank. Yeah.
yeah.
As a
Yeah, yeah,
general
yeah.
rule,
Uh-huh.
I'll propose a proposition will be made from little bro, and then big bro will disagree proposition. That's how it works.
It's not on purpose. It's not purposeful. It's not. I'm not doing
It,
it just to be like
uh-huh.
contrarian, right? I'm
Uh-huh.
doing it because, or I say it because I'm like, it's like I don't see it the same way. So okay, I agree. I like that quote. I agree with you in in the sense that like I like that quote, and it's like I think that's right, right? It's a good leader is somebody who can bring people together and like uh sh share like a common vision, or like communicate a common vision, a greater idea, right? Than kind of what the individuals can expect or want or strive for. And yeah, a good leader recognizes and like yeah, gets the strongest people to help him out, right? He's not the best at anything, but he is the best at like yeah, bringing people together, right? Unifying and inspiring and kind of yeah, leading to a common vision, a common goal, or but like with Darrow in that moment to say, "You guys don't know where I'm going. You guys, what's the quote? You guys don't
It's
know where
I
we're going. I do."
got it. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
again, I like the quote, so I'm just gonna read it again. You do not follow me because I am the strongest, Paxes. You do
Hmm.
not follow me because I am the brightest, Mustang is. You follow me because you do not know where you are going. I do.
Yeah. Yeah. And in that moment, I remember just being like, "You don't know where the hell you're going."
True.
Like, You know, and it's like, so who are you kidding? Like, are you, you know, it's like, yeah, you're taking it one step at a time, right? One win at a time, and you're figuring things out as you're going, but like, you don't know where the fuck you're going. Come on, Daryl. Like, don't kid yourself, right? And maybe it's like, did he say that to anybody, or is he
He
saying that
says
to
it's
himself?
everybody. Like he
He says
he
it
he
to,
does
okay,
the he
sure,
yeah. So like the whipping happens, and
yeah,
he's like, hey, this is what's up.
yeah. And so, okay, all right, valid. Like, I think if you're telling this to all of your teammates, right? Like, you know, it's like you've kind of established yourself as the person being in charge. Um, you know, that you have to be confident and you have to portray confidence. And so, like, yeah, this is saying, you know, I know where we're going to them is great. I think that's the right move. I think that's what you should say. But like, I think internally, Daryl was probably like, I don't know where the fuck we're going. I don't know how the hell we're gonna do this, right? And so early on in his, you know, it's like, so in the grander scheme, right? It's like talking about where we're going to win at the
The
school,
Institute. Yeah.
at the institute. Yeah, exactly. But then like broader in terms of like bringing down the golds.
Well, he has no
Yeah,
idea. He has
yeah,
no
yeah, yeah,
idea.
yeah. He has
He
no
how
idea
can
what's to
he? How
come.
can he? He yeah,
He's a
he
child at this point, right? And he goes through so much more. So yeah, that was my only kind of thought when he said that. But yeah, I like it.
yeah.
Man, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Nah, go ahead. You go ahead.
Have you ever seen How I Met Your Mother?
I've seen like half.
Half the series?
Yeah. When we
Okay.
were living at I know you were into it when we were living at the Silver Bullet.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
like you and crap with the dog. Mark.
Mark. Yeah.
Yeah, you and Mark and Brandon were into it, right?
Yeah, it was good. It was great. Great show, man. So I need to like find the clip and find the quote, but like I always think about it because and it talks about like leadership. So Marshall's dad dies, right? Like
Oh, okay.
Marshall, yeah. So his dad dies, and he's like remembering all the times, and so he's driving. He's got like this old Fiero, like a Ford, no, Pontiac Fiero. It's an old, really small, tiny little car, and he's like
Gotcha.
driving it cross country, and it's like snowing. And his dad just dies, and he's like remembering, you know, and so he was remembering as a kid they would take like road trips, and he'd be like sitting in the back seat, and like everyone's kind of sleeping in the car, and so he looks and his dad is driving, and there's like snow, it's like pitch black outside, and there's like snow pouring, and so he's like thinking to himself, he's like, how do you know, how can you see anything? How do you know where you're going to keep us safe, right? And
Sure.
and then I think he is like talking to his dad about like this experience that he had as a kid or something. And his dad tells him, he's like, I never knew where we were going. He's like, all I could see was like 5 feet ahead of me. And, you know, that's all, you know, that's all he ever saw. But he kept going, kind of thing. That kind of thing, you know, that idea.
Right.
They're just like super cool. I like that. And I feel like that's where Darrow is,
Yeah,
you
that's a good
know?
way to put
Yeah,
it. That's a good way to put
yeah,
it. Driving
yeah.
in the snow, in the mountains,
Hmm.
only
It's like, hey,
10 feet visibility.
yeah, it's like, hey, I'm just trying to be as careful as I can and make the right decisions. Turn the steering wheel, you know, whatever way it needs to go. Yeah, yeah. So is that the last quote that you?
No, I've got
Yeah,
a page and a half more.
that was good. Yeah, fuck it, man.
I've got
Let's
a
go.
page and a half more.
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, I just thought that was like really cool.
yeah.
And then fast forward, we run
Question. I
into
mean,
the yeah, what's up?
do you think that he knew where he was going? Like, do you agree with me, or
I
do
disagree.
you disagree? Yeah,
Well, I agree that he has no idea what to do after the institute.
yeah.
I agree with that part, but I disagree with him not like basically he's telling him like, "Hey, I am going to be the one that's going to win this.
Mm-hmm.
I need your guys' help."
Mm-hmm.
And that's the plan. Like the plan is for us to win this. So he like
Yeah.
like he knows the end goal of winning the institute.
Hmm.
Does he know how to get there step by step? No.
Yeah.
Does he know what to do after the institute? No. But in that moment, he's like, okay, he's committed to himself to lead his like army
Hmm.
to win the game. However, does he know? I don't think he knew exactly how to get there because
Hmm.
it's too many variables and stuff. But um,
I
yeah,
gotcha.
I mean, I
Would you have done the same if you were Darrow in terms of like getting whipped? Because I remember reading that part, and yeah, Dan Brown, right? That's the author's name. The
Pierce
guy
Brown,
who I'm jealous of, Pierce Brown. Pierce Brown.
Pierce Brown, yeah,
Um, I remember he does a good job of like showing the parallel, and you're right, right? It's like this is Darrow gets to this exact same, very, very similar situation again,
yeah,
and he's like trying to figure out what to do differently, how to handle it differently this time around. And so I just remember reading and being like, oh, what's he gonna do? And like trying to think of like what would I do in that situation? And
mm,
then I was just like, trying to like, okay, man. And then like reading the conclusion and like how, yeah, he takes the whipping on himself, right? I was like, that's genius. What would
yeah.
you have done? Would you have
So
done
I
like, yeah,
okay. First
yeah,
off, I wouldn't have come to that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
had that same like aha moment of
hmm,
like, oh wow, that's like a really smart way to do it.
yeah,
Uh I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Yeah, no, I'm probing the brain and nothing
sure,
is nothing is
it's
rising.
cool. Yeah,
But
yeah. There's no
I
red
for
red
sure was
rising.
just as surprised
Yeah,
at the solution too.
yeah. It was like a lot of that. That was another thing. It was like really, he does a good job of you get a sense or it's like complicated. The politics are complicated because, all right, going into it, it's like the point is to take over all the other schools
Mm,
and enslave all of the other students, right? You're not supposed to like kill anyone, but like
that
obviously,
goes out the window so quickly.
yeah,
That goes out the
it goes
window
out the
so
window
quickly.
quick. Um, but like so all of the heads of the house, they've got a standard, which is like this rod, right? And so you can, if you like capture another castle or whatever, you defeat another army, if they're like survivors or the students that you capture, you can like enslave them with this standard, right? And so they don't like become robots, they're still students, but like technically, you own them, and they should do what you say, but like they can kind of half-ass it, right?
Yeah,
And so when Mustang and Darrow start, when they're, after he heals up, okay. So Darrow, Cassius pretty much kills Darrow.
yeah.
Mustang finds him, saves him, and like nurses him back to health. And then they're in the woods and they kind of slowly start s- finding recruits or like finding kind of
They
enslaved students
hmm
that have like decided to what's the word I'm looking for?
desert.
Escape.
Like they're
Yeah,
basically
desert. Yes.
deserters.
Yes. Are they enslaved? Are they
They're
the
enslaved, but
deserters?
they just desert anyways.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's yeah,
Yeah.
they're basically deserters.
Yeah. So there's this weird, it's like, okay, and so like all of the other people are enslaving people, right? That's how they're getting their numbers and like increasing their numbers and gaining power is by enslaving their enemies. And then Mustang and Darrow, right? They're like, hey, no, we're a team here. Like we're all equals is the idea you get. And it's like, you're free to go. If you want to stay with us and stick around with us, like you can, but like you're your own person and you're free to go and stuff. And so, uh, yeah, this idea of like what's the best, leadership style and like, so that's where the predicament that Darrow is in when he
Mm,
chooses to get whipped. He's like, what's the way that I can like unify, um, and keep maintain my position as leader, or like. and like inspire or like make people want to follow me, right? Yeah, that's a cool, really cool dynamic that pops up a lot in the
Right,
book as
right.
as you're kind of saying the action. So,
Yeah, for
anyways,
sure. For
yeah.
sure. So jumping to the next quote, it's after like we are talking about with the jackal.
Mm.
I'm a big fan of the jackal. Would you like do you dislike him or no?
Yes, I dislike him.
I mean, I
I
dislike him
mean,
too, but I don't
yeah,
know. I like him as a villain. Like as a villain,
okay.
I
Absolutely. So yeah, that's where you're right. Like with okay, with that cat with that preface, it's like yeah, he is a good villain for sure. He's like a guy that you want to hate, you know. You know what I mean?
or or half respect. In my case,
Sure. Okay, so explain. What do
I
you
don't know.
like
I
about
mean,
him?
he's
What do
just
you
a
respect
savage.
about
He's a
him?
savage, and I have my savage tendencies. So,
Okay. Yeah, man. No, for sure. Yeah, he's definitely a formidable adversary, right? Just like willing to do whatever it takes, doesn't care about anything other than winning, right? And is like pretty much willing to do whatever
yeah,
to
yeah.
win, to survive,
To
right? There's no code with him. It's
yep.
just power and how do I gain it, I guess,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
the part what I like about him is that he's driven and ambitious. Where I would say his flaw is he's misguided.
Of course.
If he was properly guided, then obviously he'd be like the hero of the story, but it's the misguidance that makes him the villain.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm a Jackal fan. I like him.
Okay. Sure.
I like him.
Yeah.
Uh, I'd like to defeat him myself to make every clarification.
Yeah.
But it's so basically to a bit of context. It's when they first run into the Jackal. He pretends to be of House Apollo, even though he's from House Pluto. And Darrow basically just raids their castle, and there's the Jackal's army hiding in like some tunnels, and Jackal and there's like the army hiding in the tunnels. Jackal plus 7 of his people, like just out in the open. So after they basically just raid the castle, like take over the castle. There's no fight or anything because all the people are in the tunnel because Jackal's trying to set a trap. Darrow makes everybody pretend to be drunk. They start drinking. They're drinking grape juice. They're pretending it's wine, and they get drunk and stuff and whatever. So Darrow's talking with the Jackal. They're talking for like an hour and a half, and then at
He
some
doesn't
point
know it's the jackal, right? Or does he at this
he
point?
guesses.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
it's like an educated guess is the best way to
Okay.
put it. He's like,
All
so,
right.
which is your favorite, right? You love educated guesses. I'm being very sarcastic when I say that because I make educated guesses all the time, and then Chris is like, "Oh, you don't know that for certain," blah blah blah, and then shuts down the educated guess. But
Okay.
but
All right.
yeah, just random.
Sure. Hey, shots fired, dude. Hit me. I'd love an example. Give me an example.
I
Do you have one?
I'm in the middle. I'm too flowing, so
All right, go ahead.
so you
I'll let
just
it slide. I'll
bam.
allow it.
Yeah, like make like does the educated guess that it's the Jackal, and then ends up getting him to put his hand on the table, and then just stabs it to the table. And then that's the scene where Darrow makes a boo boo, and this is yeah, him flying too close to the sun. He like all throughout the story, the Jackal is a serious threat. Like you don't play games. You do not play games with the Jackal. What does Darrow do? Plays games with the Jackal. So he's like, "Hey, Jackal, cut your hand off," thinking that he's not going to do it. He ends up doing it. Pax, everyone's just like freaking out. Like everyone's shocked that he's in the process of sawing his own hand off with a steel blade. So Pax pities him, and actually before that they start talking, and this is the quote that I like, and these are kind of examples of why I like the Jackal. As his hand is like stabbed to the table, he's talking with Darrow, and Darrow's saying whatever, and then Jackal says, "We are," or Jackal says something about like, "Oh, can you say something? Like you're not good at negotiating." And then Darrow says, "We are not negotiating." Jackal responds, "Humans are always negotiating. That's what conversation is. Someone has something, knows something, someone wants something." And that's the quote. And then the narrator says, "It's as though he is reasonable to the point of being inhuman." But yeah, I really like how he's talking about like Darrow's like, "Dude, your knife, I have your hand knifed to the table. You aren't in a position of negotiation." And then Jackal's
Hmm.
like, "Dude, we're always negotiating. Like that's all humans do." So I really
Yeah.
resonated with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I mean, yeah, I agree with that. Like, I think there's always, you could say it's like, I think to a
Someone
certain
knows
extent.
something, someone wants, or what is it?
Yeah.
Someone knows something, someone has something, and then someone wants something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like if we're just having a conversation and, I know something's bothering you. It's like, yeah, I know something and I'm trying to get it out of you, right? Um, and it's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I could see that. I buy that there's always, is it everything in life or every conversation is a negotiation?
He just says that like
Everything is a negotiation.
humans are always negotiating.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to think, ideally, right, that like there are certain situations where, you're kind of just being and you're not necessarily negotiating. But like I think you can always make an argument that there's something. Like if you're just hanging out with friends, right? You don't want anything from them, you don't need anything from them. You guys are just
And
having a
then
good
it
time, you're vibing.
and then it
Uh,
goes to, "Hey, what bar are we going to next?" And then you got Chris is saying, "Oh,
sure,
let's
yeah,
go to blah blah blah," and
yeah.
then Dave is saying, "Nah, bro, let's go here instead," and then whatever. Coexisting,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Estamos conviviendo,
conviviendo.
but I think you can always there's always an argument that, yeah, there's an exchange of something for sure. I think energy, whatever the fuck. All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I buy that.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask. Yeah.
do you think anything about that scene with the Jackal Darrow
Yeah.
deciding to because it big consequences happen because what ends up happening is Pax dies, Jackal
Mm-hmm.
escapes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all shit has hit the fan at this point. Like this was like there was a series of dubs, the Rising action, and then it's just like a big like this was a big mess up.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Agreed. It's like you reading it, it's frustrating because it's like just kill the guy. Just kill the guy. Shut up.
Yeah, or
Like
just
shut
tie
up.
him up, or
Take him
tie him
out.
up, whatever. Yeah, take him out, tie him up,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Don't play
Don't
games. Whatever you do,
yeah.
don't play games.
Yes. Yeah. I completely agree. And I feel like there's so little that we know about the Jackal up to this point, right? Like they
And
because
that's a really good
it's like
point.
it's in the book. It's like, okay, it's like this big land, right? You've got hills, mountains, and stuff, and you've got like the castles of all the houses spread apart, right? So like you hear about like battles happening, or like yeah, Mustang and Darrow will run into like students that came from the north or whatever, and they like so they're
Mm.
kind of hearing third hand about what's going on in others. And so like yeah, you hear certain things about like the jackal, and but it's very little, and it's you know, but like there's a sense of grandeur, seriousness, of a gravity. You know, like this is a grave thing, whatever he is doing, right? And so
For
like up,
example,
yeah.
like Severo, he gives the info on the jackal,
Hmm.
and apparently what he did, one of the like grave things that he did was to defend himself against House Jupiter. They went into a tunnel, and without and there were to escape, but Jupiter was going to follow them into the
Yeah.
tunnel, take them out,
Yeah.
wipe them
Yeah.
out. So he just collapses the whole tunnel.
The
Like with
jackal.
yeah, without a
Yeah.
plan. So like half of his dudes die. They're in a dark tunnel. They need to somehow escape, and then they resort to cannibalism because they need to survive. So yeah.
It's not Severo that does that.
No, it's the jackal that does that.
The jackal ends up getting in the jackal is in the tunnel, but yeah, the jackal ends up in the collapsed tunnel, and he
Mm-hmm.
ends up having to eat certain
Yep,
people, whatever, and
yep.
like
His
him
like
and his
they
group.
resort. Yeah, his
Yeah,
pack
but I
resort to
don't.
cannibalism.
Yeah, yeah, but it wasn't Severo that did it. I
No,
don't
he
think.
reports this. He's giving this
Oh, okay.
report.
Ah, I see. I
Yeah,
see what you're
sorry,
saying.
sorry.
Got it. Okay.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
And that's basically all they know. That's all they
Sure.
know
Sure. Yeah.
before this point.
Wild, dude. I mean, that's one where okay, yo, you're in a freaking tunnel and you can't. Someone's got to die, you know? I mean, someone's got to die and you have to do something. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I don't know if I
And
could or if I would. Th thank God we live in a time where I'm never gonna have to find out.
we're so
But it's
pampered.
like that's one where I'm like, man, I don't necessarily blame the jackal, or I don't think that that is such a like barbaric thing to do. It is,
Yeah,
but also, you know.
it's the same thing as the
Man, you've got to
passage.
survive. You got to survive.
It's the
Yeah,
same thing as
you
the
have to do what
passage,
you have to do to survive.
and it
Yeah,
really says it well in the book because the jackal, when he's asked about it, he's like, when you're in the dark and you're hungry, your mouth finds what it finds, even if it's
yeah,
moving still. And he
yeah,
says, he's like, I wish, he's like, it's nothing, I don't remember the exact quote, but he's like, it's nothing fancy. He's like, it was like, I wish it were more humane. Like, I wish I wasn't in that situation, but like, it,
yeah,
it had to be done.
yeah. I think you do, man. You resort to it's like if it's when it comes to survival like that, it's just like the humanity kind of gets stripped away, and it's like you've got to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the instinct comes out, and it's like you kind of have to, and ultimately we're animals, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't, yeah, yeah. That's one where. Definitely barbaric, definitely wild, you know, but like I don't blame the jackal for doing that. Like I don't think that is his, you know, I don't think that is a testament to how evil he is necessarily, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So next, moving towards the next quote, moving a bit further into the book. This is where they realize that the proctors are rigging the game. They're rigging in favor of the jackal, and Darrow's army realizes, like Apollo's not being sneaky um, about him tampering with the games. So what ends up happening is, Apollo, he does the whole bear attack thing where he pushes Darrow to fight the bear. And then later on, yeah, they're sitting around the campfire, and then Apollo just
Mhm.
shows up to the campfire to tell him, "Hey, go back north. Get out of here. Get away. You guys go back north." And while Apollo is there, they have him in a jam field. So Severo and Tactus and another force of and other forces, while Apollo's there trying to dissuade Darrow's team to turn tail and run
Yeah.
back,
Yeah.
they do a raid on House Apollo and just completely wipe out House Apollo. So Apollo gets mad and he captures Mustang, takes her to Olympus. So then Darrow's like, "Yo, we're war on the Proctors now. Like we're warring on the Proctors." They fly up to Olympus and they completely catch the Proctors off guard, and they're like storming the place. And then it goes to Jupiter, the Proctor Jupiter,
Hmm.
and Jupiter, he is the like he lives for the games. He lives for the Institute. And like it's kind of like his baby. Like that's what his life
Sure.
is centered around.
Yeah.
Um, and so he's one of the. I think he is the last Proctor, one of the last, if not the last, that
That
needs
they
to get
captured
take
during the
that
raid.
they needed. Yeah, that they need to take down. But Jupiter's a really good fighter. Um, so this is right before Darrow needs to take him down, and this is again like a full-fledged gold and like stronger than Apollo, likely. So right before they go into the battle, this is Darrow's thoughts, and he's talking about Jupiter. So he says, "This place is home. It is his playground, though children his playthings till they get their scars. He is like any other petty tyrant in history, a slave to his own whims, a master of nothing but selfishness. He is the society, a monster dripping in decadence, yet seeing none of his own hypocrisy." And this is yeah, so like
One
I
more time.
I
Sorry.
I
One more
gotcha.
time. Yeah.
So talking about Jupiter, how Jupiter thinks this place, like how it's Jupiter's home. He says this place is home. It is his playground, the children his playthings till they get their scars. He is like any other petty tyrant in history, a slave to his own whims, a master of nothing but selfishness. He is the society, a monster dripping in decadence, yet seeing none of his own hypocrisy. And the reason that stuck out to me was because it's again just this this person, Jupiter, just playing around with the lives of the students and just for his own whim, his own satisfaction, just being extremely selfish.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Um, why did you like that?
Yeah, just because I am like, yeah, that's let's get this guy out of here. Jupiter's lame.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
take him out.
For sure. Yeah, man. I feel like that's yeah, there's I don't know, so many things come to mind with that, right? Like slave to his own whims. Like that's a big one. That it's like I think you, especially when you have power, you got success, whatever, these are all of these do all of these are golds that we're everyone that we're talking about is gold. So like they're all, you know, at the elites. But it's like you get to a point, I feel like, where you're just so you're used to getting your way so much. You are yes, a slave to your own whims, to your own like desires. Like you're my mind goes to like undisciplined. You're just a slave to your appetites. right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I'm just there's no discipline, there's no restraint. It's just like whatever I want, I'm gonna take,
Yeah.
kind of
And it's
deal.
like, okay, the whole point of the institute is meritocracy. Whoever has the most merit wins,
Hmm.
but
Sure.
instead he's playing politics, you know, and doing all those things.
Yeah, true, right? Because it's like you think the Golds got to where they are through merit, right? Through
Yeah, that's the whole
lots of
point of it, is that
struggle,
it's a fat
right?
lie. It's a fat lie
What?
that it's all that the Golds do everything through merit and all that stuff when it's all nepotism, it's all connections, it's
Yeah, well, it's become that, right?
yeah, it's
It's
become
become
that.
that.
Hmm.
Yeah, but like I think, they became their, it didn't just happen, right? Like there was a lot of war and strife and whatnot, and like they had to sacrifice a lot to become in, to get in that spot, right? Like in the kind of overarching, the big picture, um, like they got no one gets to the top. No class of people get to the top just by accident, right? It takes work, effort, all these things.
Hmm.
But yeah. Once they're there, right, then life gets easy.
That's when
And
yeah.
the things that got you here are not the things that keep you here. I mean, or the things that like got you here aren't necessarily necessary anymore.
Hmm.
And so yeah, you get fat, lazy, yeah, and talking about nepotism, right? It's like instead of him being true to the system and being, like trusting the process, if you will. Yeah,
Hmm.
he's trying to get his whoever he wants, right? Whoever's convenient for him to win. Um, yeah, just because he wants it that way, right? Just because he wishes it to be. Yeah. Yeah, that's really good, man. Yeah, that is a good quote. Um, so freaking common.
Yeah,
Like,
so Darrow takes him out, and then he's now there to save Mustang. And she got drugged or something, like she took a sedative. They sedated her or something. So
yeah.
he wakes her up, and then
Hmm.
Mustang's like, I was gonna tell you about my dream about dragons. It was really cool. She's like, but way to upstage me, jerk. What happened? Then Darrow says, I got mad. She goes, she goes, she groans, and she says, I've become the maiden in distress, haven't I? Slag. I hate those girls. And yeah, that was just my little Mustang quote. I got to throw those in there. Um, so I thought that was pretty funny. I
Yeah. There's I mean, I'd say that that's a little tomboyish, right? Like a tomboy tendency not to want to be the maiden in distress kind of deal. I would see that.
yeah.
Yeah, the damsel in distress.
Mm, mm. Um, and now I'm just kind of wrapping it up. I've got two more. The so once they take down the Proctors, they take all the weapons from the Proctors. They're good to go. It's a done deal. Jackal, his forces got wiped out. Um so the climax is that Darrow needs to get the standard from Cassius, and Cassius knows he's lost. There's no fight. So he just goes into the room, the war room of House Mars, and then Cassius basically says, "If we meet again, one of us will die." And Darrow nods, and then Darrow wins. Um, so now at the ceremony, Augustus he asks Darrow if he wants to join House Mars and be his apprentice, whatever, protege. And so they're talking,
Hmm.
and Augustus is saying, like, trying to convince him of like to join him and all that stuff. And so they're kind of having like a disagreement, argument, whatever. It's not whatever. They're not on the best terms like at the beginning. And Darrow's trying to tell him that he's done things differently because Darrow says, "Oh, I have my allies when I'm out of here. They're going to be my friends." But Augustus is like, "Nah, man. When I won, I didn't have any friends afterwards." And so the quote, and he says it's the way things are. This is the quote. Darrow says, "It is the way things were. I am something different. I freed the enslaved and let the broken mend themselves. I gave them something you older generations can't understand." And then Augustus says, "That's a problem with youth, Darrow. You forget that every generation has thought the same thing." And then Darrow says, but for my generation it is true. No matter his confidence, I am right, he is wrong." And he's talking about the arch governor. Thoughts?
I got a lot. I'm curious as to like what Augustus, what's his name? What's his actual name? I don't remember. Because Augustus is his last name, right?
Yeah, it's
Augusta?
the last
Whatever.
name. Crap.
Yeah, it's
We're
all
we're
good.
so professional on this podcast.
It's just two
We're
bros.
just two
Just two bros,
bros.
man. That's all it is. It's absolutely fine. So when he's like that's what I thought, or like he's like that's what everyone thought. Like it seems like Darrow truly is doing something different, right? Like it seems like he's the what was the quote, Matt? Where he's like, "I let the broken mend themselves." That like that little snippet
Mm-hmm.
talking about what he did.
I freed the enslaved and let the
Yeah.
broken mend themselves.
Yeah, yeah. And like I'm assuming it does feel like it's different. And I wonder what Augusta was like, what he meant by either he did that or everyone has done that. Because it just seems like the status quo is, you enslave everyone and you use power to lead, right? You use like fear yeah, you use either fear to lead or power to lead. People are forced to go along and stick with the status quo, go along and do your bidding. Um, and yeah, it seems like Darrow really did do something different. Like I think it's almost like I kind of equate it to like negative and positive reinforcement for like if you're
Okay.
training a dog, right? Like if
Yeah.
you're training a dog and you're using negative reinforcement, yeah, the dog is gonna listen to you because he's scared, right? He doesn't want
Mm-hmm.
bad things to happen. But like if you use positive reinforcement, it's not that the dog is listening to you, but the dog wants to, like he wants to do good or he wants that, the affection, the whatever. So it's like a push versus a pull, right? You can like push people
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and force them to do things. You can pull people and force them to, whichever one is the forcing one. Or you can, yeah, like bring people along with you. Uh, and so I think there's one that's definitely better, and like you get better outcomes, and like you get people to do your bidding, or you almost get what you want. Uh, it's better if people want to follow you, right? And so I think uh that's one thing. He says, I freed the enslaved. That's super, it's big. People have choice and they choose to do and go along with you to the choice to like accept your leadership. Great. And then also mending the broken, man, or allowed the broken to mend themselves. I think that's huge. I think that's one where it's like you can give people everything, like teach a man to fish,
Mm-hmm.
that idea. Um, if you give agency to people, that's what they really want, right? They want the power to have agency over their lives, and they want to be able, like, there's a dignity that comes with that. And I think
Mm-hmm.
there's like a respect that you will receive in turn if you allow people to do that. So I think a lot of times, yeah, it's better. Like if you're giving someone everything, like anything that is unearned, it's kind of unappreciated. Um, that kind of idea? What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. In my political science class at Purdue, kind of talking about the push and the pull, there's soft power and then there's hard power. And
Okay.
hard power is what you're talking about, which is the push.
Okay.
And it's called compulsion, where you
Hmm.
compel
Yeah.
other people to do it, do whatever
Sure.
thing, X thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then soft power, there's buy-in, where
Yeah.
it's not an order. It's the buy-in of whatever person where
Hmm.
because of their buy-in, then they want to do X thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I would say that's like hard power and soft power.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if there's buy-in, right, there's a sense of ownership. There's a sense of we versus
You
you.
and me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool. I like how Daryl's like I have a YouTube video, one of my older YouTube videos at the Silver Bullet.
Huh?
I like the outro is
You have a
like
YouTube video at the Silver Bullet
yeah, one of my Yu-Gi-Oh
for,
videos.
oh, okay. All right. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like doing the outro and I'm like, "Oh, this is my opinion." Then I say I'm like, "You know what? Fuck that. You're right. I'm wrong. Or I'm right, you're wrong." And
Hmm.
Daryl to the arch governor and he's like, "I don't care. I'm right, you're wrong." So that's a one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about that quote.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Um,
exactly. Yeah. Good.
so in that same conversation, Darrow's talking, realizing that the arch governor, and this is just how messed up the society is. The arch governor, this is right after the games. Right after the games. The arch governor, instead of talking to Mustang or the Jackal, his children, he talks to Darrow to get Darrow to pledge his allegiance. And Darrow's like, wow, this society's messed up. He is talking to me and hasn't even talked to his children. So so then Darrow says he's like funny to the arch governor when when he realizes this. He's like, wow, that's funny that you're talking to me and you're completely ignoring your biological children. And then the arch governor says like, funny? What do you mean? And he's and like antagonistic at this point. And then Darrow responds, funny how a single word can change anything in your life. And then the arch governor says, it is not funny at all. Steel is power, money is power, but of all things in all of the worlds, words are power. And then Darrow thinks to himself, words are a weapon stronger than he knows, and songs are even greater. The words wake the mind, the melody wakes the heart. I come from a people of song and dance. I don't need him to tell me the power of words. And that's all I got. That's the last quote.
Yeah. That's a good one. What was the word that he's referring to in the beginning?
Um,
Because he's like funny how
talk for a bit. Buy some time. Stall.
you're good. You're good, man. No, you're good. Yeah, I just
Although, it says okay, so here.
yeah.
So Darrow's talking about his own family, and he's talking about
Hmm.
like his brothers and sisters, and he says that is a family, love. These people are all about glory, victory, and family pride, yet they know nothing of love, nothing of
Yeah.
family. These are
Yeah.
false families. They are just
Yeah.
teams that play their games of pride. The arch governor has not even said hello to his children. This vile man cares more to speak with me. Funny, I say. So then it goes funny. He asks darkly, I make something up. Funny how a single word can change everything in your life. So he just made it up. There wasn't a specific word that the arch governor said that Darrow was talking about. It was just funny that these aren't actual families. They're false families and they know nothing of love. That's what's
Sure.
funny.
Yeah. But who says is it Augusta or is it Darrow that says a single word can change your life?
Darrow.
Darrow
It's
says that.
something he just randomly made up.
Yeah. I don't quite understand, but yeah, so that I remember reading that and like and you were well, you were reading the quote
Mhm.
just now. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, there's no love. Like fuck power, fuck wealth, iron, whatever else he mentions. And it's like these are all yeah, it's like if you have all of that without love, like there's no point,
Hmm.
you know. It's just like literally there's you can have everything. You can have all the power to do whatever you want in the world. Control as many people as you want in the world, right? But like all of the iron, all of the gold, all the whatever, wealth. But if you like don't have like people to share it with, um, what is the point? Like that's a terrible, that sounds like a lonely existence. It sounds like I almost pity Augusta, right,
Oh yeah.
for that existence, for like thinking the way he does. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's all about this.
Yeah,
We love
yeah,
this.
yeah. I remember like being pissed at Darrow when he actually accepted and like joins Augusta. Was like, no, come on, are you serious? And then because Mustang in the book, there's something about like Mustang turns away or something, and it's just like he gave up his potential future or whatever
Yeah,
with her.
really quick.
Yeah, yeah.
What you're talking about,
Hmm.
Darrow didn't know that Mustang and Jackal were twins. So Darrow sends Mustang to capture the Jackal while he goes to have his conversation with Cassius.
Yeah. He
Darrow,
finds out.
he finds out and then he jumps to the conclusion that he's going to get betrayed.
Yes.
He thinks that because Jackal and Mustang are twins, they're going to join forces and they're going to betray Darrow. But Mustang doesn't betray Darrow. She ends up capturing the Jackal and then Darrow wins.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, but like in this point, this is after all of that, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
she's
Yeah.
loyal to him, and then but like yeah, I think I just choosing to be with like she's against her father, right? And then Darrow chooses to go and team up with her father. That's why I was like pissed at him because I'm just like, what are you doing, dude? I mean, for her sake, right? But also just because we know about the sword guy, the other
Lorne.
Lorne, yeah, Lorne out Arcos, yeah, like because that was an option, like it was an option to be his,
Mm-hmm.
to pledge allegiance to him or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
But
yeah,
actually, the Arch Governor didn't even give him that option. Like, it was a potential option, but the Arch Governor kind of sprung it on him. Like
what do you
people
mean?
thought it was like the game's end, and then the first thing the Arch Governor just goes in. He's like, "Hey, are you gonna be with me or what? Like, I have the you have the choice now. Take it or leave
Yeah,
it." So he
yeah, but
didn't even give Lorne the opportunity, like, to
no,
even.
but it's on Darrow, right? It's on Darrow to say no. Darrow always has.
Yeah,
There's always an option,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Darrow.
yeah.
That's where I'm like Darrow should have said, "Hey, nah, I'm not about this," and then approached Lorne because he had his pick at that point, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
he won. He was the Primus, whatever.
Promise, baby.
Yeah, and like I mean, won in um, amazing fashion too. So. He could have done
Yeah,
whatever he
first to take
wanted.
down the Proctors.
Yeah,
That's one for
that
the
it's a hell of a
trophy
statement to
shelf.
make. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, man. What else? What did you think in that moment? So other than yeah, other than like love and that whole deal,
Yeah, I was
why did
surprised.
you like that quote?
I didn't for whatever reason I didn't. I don't know why I didn't think that he was going to go with the arch governor. Thinking
Hmm.
back about it now, it makes sense. I think it makes a lot of sense because I mean that's the whole mission. The whole mission is to infiltrate from the inside and get as high of a position as possible. The arch governor is the highest position. Getting in his camp, like it. I wasn't. I wasn't mad. I was more like surprised
Hmm.
slash like why didn't I see this coming? Like I should have seen this coming, but I wasn't mad. I was just more shocked.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I always lean to it like I'm uh there's an idealist about me, right? And I'm just like, man, the ideal option would have been, hey, don't sign a deal with the devil, right? And instead go with Lorne, right? Try to kind of save the good that you have or whatever and find a way to yeah, take him down from there. But yeah, I mean, it does make sense, right? Hey, sign, team up with the biggest and baddest person you can, right?
Yeah, yeah,
If you're trying to, yeah, take it down. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. That for sure was the mission.
Hmm.
I am very happy that you recommended this series. It hits, man. It hits. I think
Yeah, it's
out of
good.
the first three, I'm really excited to get into the second book. Read, reread
What?
for next
Yeah, yeah,
podcast.
yeah. Oh, guys, yeah, I will be prepared for the next one. I'm gonna read it and we'll do a better job for sure. So that being said, though, I do kind of like this, like just like going back and forth between quotes. I mean, today it was just you,
Right.
right? But talking about like, hey, I liked this aspect of, I liked what this was said, right? I like this quote, versus necessarily going through like the entire plot. Like, I think if you're
Yeah.
watching this, guys,
Yeah.
you've
You know.
already read the book, yeah, and yeah, like I was telling you, man, it's like, dude, this is just like
Yeah.
for
For
us
sure.
to chat
For sure.
and talk about the ideas and like bounce stuff off of each other.
Yeah. Definitely,
So that's what I care about.
dude. I think the second book is the best out of the three.
You think so?
Yeah. I think the
Yeah.
second book is where it's just like the most delicious meal of fiction
Ha
of
ha ha ha.
storytelling. The second book, I think one of the like on the back it was like the sequel that is like that defines what a sequel should be or something like that. I could check it
Sure.
out. It's literally right over here. But
Yeah.
dude, the second book
It
was my favorite. After reading the
it's
first three,
mhm.
number two hit the most.
Nice. It was good, really good. It's just like so different, right? But that's what it should be, right? It's like, hey, we're developing completely different. It's like, the world just keeps expanding.
That's
Because
another
it's
good
like,
thing about the series.
yeah,
Is the world building is like crazy. And we
that's
talked
fair.
about it in the first podcast, like how it
We did
goes, yeah, how it
from the
goes
little
from the
mines.
exactly.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, just yeah,
Sorry, man.
from no, you're good, you're good. Like that's pretty much it. And yeah, world building on point.
Yeah, yeah. He keeps it interesting. I think I still like the first one a little bit
Okay.
more. There's something about like because it's like a coming of age story, right? And
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
don't know why, like I just
Yeah.
enjoy that. And then like the even the so the second one, right? Like now, okay, he's in at the academy. No, this is the institute, and then you go to the academy or whatever the fuck.
Hmm. The
But like
Academy.
we're it's like spatial warfare, right? And like we're battling in between planets and stuff, and so it gets much bigger. There's a lot of action that happens, but
Hmm.
like there's something about I think the first one where it's like it feels more intimate. Like
I agree with you.
like from a person to person, I think you get to know the characters a little bit more. There's great character development across all the books, but there's just something about like they're kind of rubbing shoulders with each other a little bit more, that I think I like about the first one.
Yeah, I
But yeah,
gotcha.
second one's fucking great.
That's totally valid. Like,
Hmm.
it's definitely like I know about I acknowledge the sentimentality and all that coming of age and all that stuff, but me, I'm just like, I need some blood. I need the
Yeah.
blood. So the second
Sure.
one delivers on the blood. Um,
The action is cooler, I think, in the second one.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. There's a lot of cool action that happens. I'm excited to talk about it.
yeah. Me too.
And yeah, and I will read it and prepare for this next one. No
Yeah,
worries.
you're all good. You're all good.
Yeah. Cool. Anything
I
else? Any
think.
closing statements, closing thoughts?
Um. Whatever. We'll just.
You got one more? What?
I was gonna do a little impromptu one, but I really like the
Let's
quotes at the
go.
beginning of the parts. I don't know where it is though. I don't. That's the thing. But
There's
I think it's at the beginning of part four. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Part three, gold. And this is before you get into the chapter. There's always like I love the little sayings in the
hmm
parts. So this one is part three, gold. This is your sling blade, son. It will scrape the earth's veins for you. It will kill pit vipers. Keep it sharp. And if you get stuck in the drills, it will save your life for the price of a limb, said my uncle.
hmm
So I'm not even gonna say anything further. That's all I got.
I got one more thing. In the beginning of the book, the dedication I love. I think it's to my father who taught me how to walk. That's dope. It's just dope.
Dude, hopefully sometime in the future we can grab some drinks with Mr. Brown. Let's see how we can get there, cause
Sure. Hey, you never know, man. I'm sure there's not very many podcasts talking about his books. Or I'm sure there are, don't get me wrong, but like no podcast with either of us on them. So there you go.
oh yeah, yeah.
All right.
Only here, baby. Books and bros, bros and books. Whichever way, we're here.
Sounds good, man. And with that, we're out. Love you, man.
All right,
Appreciate you.
love you.
Bye.
Peace out.